Hello friends, welcome back to our little coffee club. If this is your first time here, this is a coffee channel. We talk about all things coffee, and usually we always have a brew session. So if you want to stick around for that, in a few minutes I'll go to the other counter and brew some coffee. We're gonna pull some shots of espresso and have some fun with that. But first, I want to tell you guys about my experience with the whole Temu thing. Temu, I'm not sure how you're supposed to pronounce it, but this website or application, depending on how you're using it, it's kind of like an Amazon type of thing where you find really inexpensive products. In my case, what I was looking for was coffee filters, and it's the whole reason why I downloaded the app and started ordering from there. Like I said when I first spoke about these things here, I have a feeling that I'm the last one to find out about this and that everybody's been using it, and I'm like the last one finding out about this whole thing. But in case you don't know about it, and in case you never ordered with them, I'm gonna tell you my limited experience. I've only put 2 orders in so far, but I'll tell you my experience with this application and how it went and how I like the products and what I think about it. After we talk about all of that, I want to report back as to the coffees, the DAC coffees, and tell you guys what I've been able to get from that and my experience with DAC. And then we'll go to the other counter, brew some espresso. Of course, we'll make some Cortados. And then maybe chit chat a little bit more. But yeah, let's first talk about the whole Temu experience, let's call it. So yeah, being that we're gonna brew some espresso, I had to turn on the espresso machine so it could start warming up. It takes about 20 minutes. All right, so the whole reason why I even downloaded the app and set it up and started ordering from there was because, again, I needed some coffee filters. I was looking for some of these, just V60. Usually I order the Hario V60 filters from Amazon, and normally they run for around $6, $7, something like that. Now, I remember from my previous experiences of getting it through Amazon that somehow I didn't had to pay for shipping. So maybe because it was included with the other items, or I don't know. All I know is that this time when I try to get them, the shipping cost just as much as the filters. So it was gonna be like 6 something for the filters and 6 something for the shipping. I was gonna end up paying somewhere around $13, $14 for 100 filters. I thought that was a bit much. I thought I could do a bit better. And I thought, maybe I'll order it from one of the coffee websites. So that was my thinking. But as soon as I Googled it, okay, and I started looking around, one of the very first things I got were 100 filters for maybe like $4. And I was like, wow, that's really cheap. But what is this Temu thing? So I didn't, I kept looking around for some kind of website that I did know, but it was either very expensive shipping or the filters were a lot more. So I was like, well, maybe I should try this Temu website. So what's the worst that could happen? I throw away $4 or $5. So, so I went to the app store and they had the app for the phone. I downloaded it, set it up. Pretty straightforward, very easy to set up. And okay, so the whole application experience. First, let's talk about that because it's the only negative aspect of this whole thing. So, and again, I have had very limited experience so far with them. I've only ordered twice, but I will tell you what happened. But the application itself, again, easy to download, easy to set up, and pretty straightforward. But every time you try to get into the app, you get bombarded with these little gimmicks, these little games. Like it's either spin the wheel for 50% off, or pick the box for a free gift, or some kind of nonsense that just ends up wasting your time. I wish that I could just bypass all of that and not have to, and maybe there's a way of doing that, but like I said, I have had very limited experience. And in my experience, there's like no bypassing that. You just, every time you open the app, you're gonna get all these games and spin the wheel and open the box and all this, all this nonsense. And I did try it. I tried it a couple of times. I don't see how you get anything. It's just that, that's why I said, it's just like a gimmick. It doesn't work. You guys let me know. I'm sure some of you guys have been using this thing, and like I said, I'm probably the last one to find out. But I think the whole spinning the wheel thing is all a big gimmick and just some nonsense and very annoying. So I wish I could just turn that off. Now, that being said, and again, that's the only negative aspect. They have a lot of stuff on this website, a ton of stuff, and everything is like super cheap. to the point that I don't even understand. How do they make money? Like, okay, so remember, I got into the whole thing because I needed 100 of these filters, like the V60 filters. Okay, so I found some that I thought were as good as any, and I picked them and I put them in my shopping cart. So they were only like $4 or something like that. I think it was I want to say it was like 2 something for 50, and I had to do 2 packs, so it was like $4 or $5 for 100 filters. So, but then it wouldn't let me check out. And what I could, maybe there's a way of bypassing that as well. But from what I could see, okay, and let me know if you guys know otherwise. But from what I could tell, it looks like you have to have $15 in your shopping cart before you could even check out. So once you do that, the shipping is free. So I thought, well, if I get it from Amazon, I'm going to pay $15 anyway, and all I'm going to get is the filters. So let's get some other stuff. So I kept looking around, and I ran into this beautiful little origami knockoff. Now, I have said it here on the channel. I like supporting the innovators and the companies that come up with the products. I really do. But in this case, I needed to get to my $15, and I really liked it. Okay, so I was like, wow, maybe I'll get this. So I think even after getting this, I still was not at $15. If you get the real origami, you're gonna be over 15 just with that. But this thing was like $6. Then I had like 100 filters for like 4 something. Then I ended up getting another 100 filters flat bottom that I can use in my April brewer or in one of these brewers. That's why I have always said that if you could only get one brewer, I would probably get an origami or an origami knockoff. It depends, man. Not everybody wants to spend their money the same way, and not everybody has the same means. So if you want an origami knockoff, I have nothing against that at all. Okay, I'm just saying that I also like to show my appreciation for the innovators and the people that come up with the products. So, but that being said, I have nothing against it. This is awesome. It's just a piece of ceramic. I mean, and it's beautifully made. It's just as nice as the original one. It is a little bit taller than the original one. The diameter is the same. And, one of the things of the origami, what I was getting to, is that if I had to choose just one brewer, I think it would be the origami. And it was my very first dripper that I ever bought. And I think I chose well. Because with this dripper, you can use the cone filters, but you can also use the flat bottom filters, and they both work, and it's really awesome. You can use it just like this. You don't need, sometimes the origami has a little wooden stand. You don't need that at all. You could just place this even in your cup. If it's tall enough, place it in your cup and you can brew right into it. So yeah, once I had this, 100 of the flat bottom, 100 of the cone filters, I finally made it to $15 and I was able to check out. Shipping is free. Shipping both times that I ordered from them took about a week's time, and everything came in. Oh, this was better packed than the real origami when I received it. This was in a little pillow of love that surrounded it. Very well packed. Everything just works fine. I mean, they're just filters. I'm not so picky about my filters. As a matter of fact, I have some Cypress paper that I've never even used. I remember, I think I showed it to you guys on one of the videos when I first got them. I got them when I bought my April dripper, and I still haven't unpacked it. It's still new in the box. I have to, maybe one of these days we'll see if we could tell. We're not gonna be able to tell any difference. Now, supposedly it's faster, but to me, the speed of the paper affects the whole experience very little. If you want to brew faster, use a faster dripper. Okay, that's gonna make a bigger difference. If you want to brew faster, do less agitation, grind coarser. There's a lot of things you could do to brew faster that does not require you to buy some really expensive paper. Paper's just paper to me. Does it have a smell? Does it have a taste? I don't know, maybe it does. I rinse it every time before I start, and I'm good to go. All right, that's my whole take on that. After that, you guys saw me talking about wanting a milk frothing pitcher that does not have the little handle. I wanted to try something that I could hold like this to, to pour my latte art. And I think that I would do a better job than having to like get, you know, this is awkward to me. It always has been. So this comes for free. You get one of these from Brew, and it's the same size as the one I got again from Temu, my second order. I got this little pitcher, again, no handle. Okay, you could see this one has no handle, so I can grab it the way I wanted to pour my latte art. Okay, I've only tried it once. We tried it, I believe it was on the last video. And I don't think I did a great job, but moving forward, once I get a little bit of practice, I think I'm gonna do a lot better job with one of these without the handle. So another thing that I like about it is that it's the small size, like the Brew one. The other one that I have, yes, it's beautiful, I love it, but it is a bit taller and I always froth very little milk. So, all right, but this thing was about 13 bucks. So guess what happened? Again, I had to add some stuff. You know, I wish I could have just charge me 15 and let's get on with it, you know? But it's not an option. So I guess what I got? Some more filters. So I added some more filters. Now I have a bunch of filters. I'm set with filters for quite a while. I won't be running out anytime soon. So, you know, that order also took about a week to be received. I received exactly what I was promised. You know, this thing is very well made. It's beautiful. It has this little leather wrap so that it, you know, because it's going to get hot. So since you don't have the handle, they always include like some kind of little wrap. But this one has like a nice little coat. You know, it's nice and cute, right? It has a nice little leather coat. So I think it's beautiful. I think it's nice. It has some markings inside that tell you the ounces. Although I never use that, you know, when you're gonna froth milk for latte art, usually you just go to the bottom of the spout, you know, and then you just froth from there. So, all right, so I think that pretty much wraps up what I wanted to tell you guys about this whole Temu thing. And, you know, I had already mentioned why I started using it, again, because of the filters. And yeah, I couldn't believe the deals. I mean, this is like a super, super cheap stuff. Like they have some self-leveling spring-loaded tampers for like, I don't know, like $15, $20. Like it's just everything's like, how do they make money on this? So, you know, do I highly recommend it? You know, I'm not sure. But at least in my experience so far, I haven't had any issues. You know, the return policy, I have no clue. But I'm not returning some filters. If I got the wrong thing, I just keep them. You know, I'm sure with Amazon, the return policy is very straightforward, very easy, and usually it's like free returns, my understanding. If you have Amazon Prime, at that point, I think you're just maybe better off just going through Amazon because your shipping will always be free and, you know, because of the whole return policy. So, all right, but this company, if you need some filters, you want to knock off origami, or take a look. They have tons of products. Very, you know, maybe I'll order some more stuff because I have been keeping an eye on a couple little items to spruce up. You know how I always like putting some items in the background, something new for you guys to look at. And they have so many little things that we can include. As a matter of fact, I have a couple of things there today. They were all gifts. It's not Temu, but I'll show you guys in a bit. All right, but first let's wrap up as to the DAC coffee. So, as to the DAC coffee, my experience with DAC, again, the shipping is the fastest I've ever seen from any company. I don't know how they did it. I mean, this coffee came from like the farthest I've ever ordered, and it got here, unless they have a warehouse here that they store locally, maybe in Amazon. I don't know how they do it. I don't know. But all I know is that I ordered, and it was either the next day or maybe the day after that, at the most. It was already at my house. So incredible, incredible. Freshly roasted. As a matter of fact, I received it so fast, I had to wait like 2 weeks before I could start brewing it. They tell you to wait at least 2 weeks. And I received it like immediately after roasting. Like it was, it was crazy. Like somebody roasting right outside my door. But anyway, you know, the first coffee that we brewed, let me put on my glasses for this part. Okay, the first one that we brewed was this one here, the current Bluff. So this is a Colombian, and the tasting notes are red currant, tangerine and black tea. Now the black tea, I don't know how to recognize that. I can't tell you about that, but the very first time that I brewed it, and what you guys saw on my review of this coffee, I got a lot of that upfront berryness. Maybe you guys could hear that. That's the the espresso machine getting up to temperature. All right, so like I was saying, on my very first time that I tried it, I got a lot of that upfront, berry tartness up front and nice acidity rounded with some sweetness. And I did not like really get like a citrus note on my first go around. As I dialed this coffee in, okay, you could get more on that tangerine. You will taste the citrus notes. You will taste it, depending on how you brew it. I cannot say that it's better though that way. I can't say it's better when you get more of the citrusness than when you get more fruitiness and the upfront tartness like I did in my first go around. Although that was the brew session that my phone rang and I had to stop mid. I thought it was going to be a total loss, and it turned out to be, the coffee was as good as any other cup. It was perfectly fine. But again, I didn't get any of the citrus notes. As I dialed it in, I was able to do that. So this coffee though, it's, we've had tons of things like this before here. I've had a bunch of specialty coffee that you would say, yeah, it's kind of like that one from DAC. Okay, so not very unique is what I want to say. Perfectly fine, very good coffee, but not very unique. Now, on the other hand, this coffee, here, the Milky Cake, this is a Castillo. It's also a Colombian coffee, and it has a thermoshock fermentation process. Okay, so this thermoshock thing is pretty much the same thing that I got from that Good Brothers Costa Rican, that coffee that I really love, that I have some frozen so that we can revisit. But okay, that Costa Rican coffee from Good Brothers they call it thermical processing or thermical fermentation. It's probably the same thing as this thermoshock. It does add something that I really enjoy to coffees, okay? Because this coffee is so unique, okay? It tastes nothing like the Good Brothers one. It's just as unique as the Good Brothers one, but in a totally different flavor profile, okay? So they don't taste anything alike. But this coffee is the most unique, like, tasting coffee that I've probably ever had. Is it like in a good way or in a bad way? I don't know. It's good. I guess in a good way. Does it make it better than anything else I've tried? No. But it's just very unique. If you guys could still get this, okay, so this is from DAC. Like I said, DAC Coffee Roasters. They call it Milky Cake. It says Castillo Thermoshock, Cauca, Colombia. And then the tasting notes are cardamom, pistachio, and vanilla cake. As far as vanilla cake, I never recognized vanilla in any coffee. Okay, I don't know how to recognize that. So, did I get that? No. Now, a little bit of nuttiness, I could definitely see that. I could see that. Cardamom, I looked it up when I reviewed it, and it was some kind of Indian, like some seeds, I think it was, or nuts that they grind them up and make like a spice with it. For India, and it's used a lot or commonly used in Indian cuisine. I don't know how to recognize that, but immediately after tasting this coffee, to me, it tasted like chamomile, like a chamomile tea. And then maybe with, let's say you drop a little star of anise in with the infusion of the chamomile, the resulting tea that you would get from that, maybe something like this, at least in my opinion. Okay, that's what I got from it. It has acidity, has sweetness, but wow, even the smell of this is so different than any other coffee. So if you guys can pick some of this up, even if it's not from DAC, maybe you'll find this same coffee from another roaster. Try to pick it up and try to have it, it's awesome. Now, the one downside for that, they sell their coffee very reasonable pricing, very cheap. I mean, in my opinion, it was like $20 for like really high-end stuff. I mean, the problem is the shipping. When you add the shipping, it ended up, when you do the math, at about $60 a pound with shipping, okay, for these coffees. That is not unheard of in what we do, and I've had here $100 a pound coffee, and even higher than that in the case of the Bernardina. So yeah, it gets even higher than that, but you can find equally good coffee for, I would say, $25 to $30, which is around half of what you're gonna pay because of the shipping with DAC. So that part is unfortunate. I wish I could get it cheaper. I would definitely order more of this. When I got September, if you guys never try September, try it. September is, and I don't remember paying a lot for shipping. I have to revisit September. I will order again. But you guys know the next one on the list is gonna be Manhattan. I will put that order in. I also have some coffee coming in from Jay Carragay, the YouTuber. I've told you guys about Jay a few times. We'll try that coffee. I have a coffee to show you there on the counter that somebody gave me as a gift. But it's pre-ground coffee. We don't do that in this channel. But we'll open it. We'll try it. It's Jamaican Blue Mountain coffee, which is very high-end. I mean, that's one of the top coffees in the world. So it's supposed to be really, really high-end stuff. It's 100%. It's not like some kind of blend or something. It's 100%. It's roasted in Jamaica, and we'll see, because it's, like I said, we don't do pre-ground coffee here, but we have to try that. So we'll compare. We'll compare that to something we grind ourselves, like really specialty high-end stuff, and see how it compares. So that'll be kind of fun. So okay, that wraps up my take on DAC. Today, we're gonna pull at least 2 shots. I think I'm gonna pull a shot of that milky cake. I wanna try that as espresso, okay? Because it's gotta be so unique, but maybe not as espresso. As pour over, man, it's so unique. I've never had anything like that. So we'll try that coffee. And then I think I still have a little bit of the coffee that I brought back from Fresno, from Cup of Joy. And of course, we'll make cortados. Let's take it over to the other counter. All right, so a couple more things to talk about before we get to the brewing here. I wanted to show you guys, maybe you saw these little cups there on the opening cinematic, but if you didn't, take a look. These little cups were given to me by my sister. Thank you to Elaine, big shout out. I love these little espresso little cups. They have a design, like an Indian design. She told me a little bit about it, but yeah, I'm not good with those things. She's the historian. I don't know too much about this, but all I know is that they're beautiful. Thank you, I really love these. So maybe today when we brew, we can brew into one of these and check them out. All right, what else we have to talk about? Oh, one more thing. Let me put these off to the side. So yeah, big shout out to my sister for giving me the 2 little shot glasses. I really love them. Okay, so another thing I want to show you guys before I eat it, because this is food, I can't keep it around like forever. So I wanted to show you guys this. Maybe some of you guys know about this. This is called a mooncake. It was given to me by a friend, also customer. And these little mooncakes here are typical for a celebration that happens in China. China has a day of the year kind of like, I guess you could think of it like Thanksgiving. So it's a day that families come together, they share food, and one of the typical items that they eat during this meal is the mooncakes. So I'll report back to you guys and let you know what it is that it's like and how I liked it. But yeah, I wanted to show you guys this before having it. So this celebration happens in autumn, and it has to do with the full moon in autumn. And again, maybe that's why they call them mooncakes, and they're usually round. So for the full moon, I imagine, I don't know. I don't know too much about this, but thank you for this gift. I don't think they watch my videos, but who knows? In case they ever run into it, thank you so much. Also the coffee, I told you guys about it a little bit, the Jamaica Blue Mountain coffee. It is roasted in Jamaica by coffee roasters of Jamaica. And it's 100% Jamaican Blue Mountain. It's one of the most famous coffees out there, one of the most high-end coffees out there. So I definitely want to try it. I've never tried 100% Jamaica Blue Mountain. So now I wish it would be whole bean. That would be obviously next level, but doesn't matter. We'll still try it, and I'll show it to you guys here on the channel, and we'll compare it. We'll compare it to something else and see how I like it. Okay, so that's a little bit of the mooncake. I showed you guys the new shot glasses. We talked about Temu. We talked about the Jamaica Blue Mountain coffee. So a lot going on today, but let's get right into the brewing and let's start pulling some espresso. Again, I want to try the one from DAC. Okay, I'm going to try this coffee, the very unique one. This is that milky cake, they call it. And I wonder if it's going to be unique also as espresso. Somehow I don't think so, but I don't know. We'll see. I know that the Good Brothers, the Costa Rican with the Temu processing, that one, or Temu fermentation, that one, they, as pour over, it was like really, it elevates itself. It separates itself from everything else. It's unique and wonderful. As espresso, I never got anything great from it. I wonder what this one's gonna be. So let's dial it in and see what happens. All right, so first things first, let's dose out our 18 grams. Somebody reached out recently and left me a message talking about that they do the whole blind shaking, and they enjoy it. They like the workflow. But they, in the comment, they do admit that the coffee just lands, however, so then they do some WDT. But I told them, you know what, man, to each their own. If it's something you enjoy and it adds something to your workflow and something enjoyable to your workflow, then by all means, that's what this is all about. It's about having a good time and enjoying what you're doing. And does it make a big difference in your shot? Some people will say yes. To me, all of these things is just relative. Do I think? No. You can just use a Breville machine, tamp with the Breville tamper, lock it in. You're gonna get 99, in my opinion, you could get 99% of the way there. Okay, so that other little 1% doesn't matter. To me, no. But I do it because I enjoy the workflow. Like I was telling the gentleman, listen, if it's something you enjoy, go for it. If it adds something of value to the time that you spend making your coffee and enjoying your setup and all that stuff, then absolutely, I'm all for it. So yeah, I had asked on a couple of videos, hey, is anybody out there doing blind shaking? So I guess some people have adopted the new technique. All right, good for you. All right, let's dose out 18 grams. Should I take out one bean? Let's see what happens. 17.9. I think we're gonna have to leave it in there. Okay, 18, maybe 18.1. We're fluctuating. But we're going with that. Of course, I'm gonna use the niche zero. I don't wanna waste a bunch of that coffee. I'm hoping that I get something acceptable right from the get-go. Where should I start with the grind size? I'm gonna go with 15 because I wanna get a long shot, and I think at 15, I have a good chance of getting something acceptable for me. So let's see. Okay, we're set at 15. If I can get some kind of pre-infusion, I would say at least like minimum, like, 10 seconds with a few drips, and then it starts coming out fast. I ramp up and I can go for another at least 25 seconds. Maybe I'll be in the ballpark where I'm gonna enjoy it. I would be more likely to enjoy this as a normal Slayer shot, like a 30-second pre-infusion, 30-second at 9 bar, about a minute long shot. This is very lightly roasted, and I think that's where I'll get the most out of this, and that's what I'm gonna be shooting for. Will I be able to do that at grind size 15? Yeah, I'm gonna go to 14. I'm at 14. Okay, so I hate double guessing myself. Now it's like chokes or something and we get nothing, but we'll see. We'll start at 14, grind size 14. We got 18 grams. Again, we'll be shooting for one of my usual Slayer type shots, 30-second pre-infusion, 30-second at 9 bar, and see if it's good. If it's good, that's fine. And then we'll pull I might have 2 shots in here of the Ethiopia from Cup of Joy. I know this one is grind size is 16 and a half. And at 16 and a half, I can do one of my Slayer shots with that. That's also lightly roasted. It's a medium, but it tastes lighter than what it looks like. And it does have some good amount of acidity. With a Slayer shot of that type, I've been enjoying this coffee a whole bunch, and we'll do a Cortado with that one. But let's go ahead, grind this, and see what we get out. Well, again, I always do the thing with the 2. I always do that. But luckily, I never grind into the wrong one, because I've said it on a bunch of videos by now, but the 2 cups, they look identical, but they don't weigh the same. So if I weigh it on one and then grind into the other one, I can't check retention. Okay, so, all right, we're ready to go. Okay, we have some fighters. You hear the beans falling through. Okay, I think we got everything. A nice little tap. Let's see if we got our 18 grams out. 17.8. Usually I don't worry about a 0.1, 0.2, not even 0.3, but ever since I've had this new little bellows, the one from Gemini, I've been using it. Okay, here it is. If you guys haven't seen this in the previous videos, this is from Gemini Coffee Tools, and this works awesome with the niche. The Zero and the Duo, I can use it on both grinders. You just give it a couple taps like that. Let's see where we're at now. And we're right back at 18. So it works every time, man. That thing works awesome. All right, let's do some pug prep. All right, so the first thing we do is do some declumping here in the cup. So everything is already nice and fluffy by the time I put it into the portafilter. I haven't used it, so it should be dry. Perfect. Now we come in with the dosing ring or dosing funnel. My Pasado WDT, this one has like really thin needles. It is nicer to use in the portafilter than the other one. Although the other one works, man, and it costs way less, so. Take all of this with a grain of salt. But it's just what I have found through my experience. I mean, by now we've been using this for quite a while. Now, I do believe in WDT. I do think it helps with channeling and all that stuff, but is it like mandatory? No, man, people were pulling shots way before WDT started and became a thing, and it works just fine. You don't have to. But again, if it's something that you enjoy, and I do, I love the tool, I love using it, so then at that point, then why not? Okay, today we're gonna try tamping again with the Pasado tamper, which again, because of this beveled edge, I always struggle with it. Yes, guys, I know I could get a self-leveling, spring-loaded tamper, I know. You know, it's one of those comments that I get over and over. But I enjoy using this. Oh, today I did a pretty darn good job. You know, although, wow, that's way in there. I think maybe it's too fine, but we'll see, maybe not. Maybe not. Also, these little rags, you know, they're just little bar towels, you know, no big deal. But they have a little thing, a little loop that you could hang them with if you so choose to. They have some fun colors. They work as good as anything else. They're also made by Gemini Coffee Tools. So, you know, the last time I looked on the website, they're still not on there. I don't know, are they ever gonna sell this? Like, you know, I don't know. One thing you could find on their website is this, the puck screen, okay? But First Coffee, they do sell this on their website. They have more than one, and they have a little dosing, you know, one of those little dosing cups, although I don't use that because I like checking retention, and I always grind into the same little cup that I dose into, and you wouldn't be able to grind into that thing, so. All right, let me lock in and start the shot before somebody gets triggered. Oh, wait, remember to run it. Let's equalize the temperatures. I don't know, is that a thing with a dual boiler? You know, maybe a little bit, I don't know. Maybe a little bit. If I remember, I will always do it. It's a vital, I doubt it because I've pulled a bunch of shots that I forgot to do that and I couldn't see any difference. Like, it's one of those things, man, it's one of those things. It's more mental than anything else. All right, let me set up the cameras and then we'll pull our first shot. All right, here we go. So, you know, one thing I've noticed is that when I use the Time More, as I'm gonna do today, and the new Cortado cups, then the combination of the two is a little bit too tall and it blocks a bit of your view from the bottom. But I can use the new cups with the Akaya and that doesn't happen. But today we're pushing through. We're gonna use the Time More. Why not? Haven't used it for a while. Again, it's all about having fun and using your tools, but this might block the bottom shot just a little bit. We'll see. Okay, the scale's ready. Once the A is flashing, you can place your cup. Oh, that's right, I was gonna brew into my sister's little cup, wow. Okay, well, it's not gonna happen right now because I'm all ready to go here. On the next video, we'll do it on the next one. But you see this, now the bottom shot is a little bit, you know, kind of covered a little bit. And that's because this scale is just a tad little bit taller. All right, so here we go. I start with the paddle at 5, like this. At around 9 seconds, we start building pressure. Again, I do a 1 to 2.5, so 18 in, 45 grams out. Hopefully here at around 20 seconds, we'll get some we're getting some drips, so that's good, okay. Now I'm at 3, so I'm gonna go. So this is a big course for what I wanted, but we'll see. Yeah, this is definitely a bit coarse, and I thought it was too fine, but it's not, it's a bit too coarse. So once I get 45 grams, I'm gonna stop it. Puck integrity is holding up perfectly. And it was flowing a bit fast, so I wanted to stop it a little bit earlier. 44 grams out, 24 seconds since first drip, 38 seconds overall. For most of you guys out there, this is more than long enough of a shot, okay? In my experience and for the flavors and what I like to taste in coffee, this is probably gonna have too much brightness and too much acidity. These longer Slayer shots, when you're getting up to like 50 seconds overall or a minute overall, you trade some of that acidity for sweetness, and then that's when I really enjoy the shots. But maybe with this coffee could be an exception, so let's try it. Let me stop some of the cameras and then I'll try it. Let me get my scale out of the way so it doesn't get dripped on. I see there's no splashing this time, nothing, it's really clean. Oh, you know, something I always forget. I always forget to talk about this, but it's something that I get asked often as well. And it's one of the questions I forgot all about it. Man, I'm glad I remembered. I'm gonna mention it here. I'll probably mention it again in another video, but I always forget about this one for some reason. But they always tell me, hey, it's hard to keep a white espresso machine clean? You know, my answer to that is the following. Have you ever had a black car? Have you ever had a white car? Which one was easier to keep clean? By far, the white car is way easier to keep clean. Okay, although you would think not, but a black car always looks dirty. You have to be wiping it down constantly. I've had black cars. It's a nightmare. You have to clean it every single time if you want it to look nice. White cars stay much cleaner. This espresso machine requires minimal wiping down, almost never. When I finish brewing and I'm putting everything away, I always clean I flush some of the water out good, and then I always dry and clean my drip tray, and then I wipe down the chrome parts, but the white never even requires any wiping. I mean, very little wiping. It's super easy to keep clean. This is the easiest machine to keep clean, okay? The Brew infuser, which was that brush aluminum, is much harder to keep clean. This always stays clean. It's very easy. Well, finally, I remember to talk about that. Every time I get that question, I'm like, man, I forgot about that one again. But I finally remembered. Oh boy. Okay, just from I stirred, okay? And I always clean the spoon with my mouth. And, I don't want to put it down somewhere and then it leaves a coffee stain. So, just from cleaning the spoon, it's already like, whoa, this is way different. There's something going on here. Oh boy, I'm really excited now to try this. All right, here we go. Again, on the aroma, same as the pour over, okay? Same exact thing. You're gonna get like an herbal infusion of a star anise and chamomile, and just very floral with, wow. Just, you guys really have to try to find this coffee and try it. Okay, I'm definitely not throwing that away. Would I say that that's spot on? I would still like to brew it longer and see what happens, but I have enough sweetness here to be very happy with this. I'm not gonna redo it. Yeah, definitely the tartness, acidity up front. Wow, man, this coffee. And it says that, but I wouldn't know how to recognize half of these tasting notes, right? Like it had that cardamom, which is that spice used in Indian cuisine. I don't know what that's supposed to taste like. I'm sure I've had it. I've had Indian food many times. And then we have the pistachio and vanilla cake. Now, pistachio, does it have some nuttiness? Let's see, let me try to detect some nuttiness. No, I wouldn't say that. I would not say that. Not as pour over, I was able to get a little bit of that, and even at that, not much. Vanilla cake. Again, I cannot recognize vanilla tasting notes in coffee. I've never been able to say, oh, this tastes like vanilla to me. So, no, this to me, very fruity, very tartness up front, maybe some citrus notes as well in there. Wow, this is great. I mean, man, I was thinking about maybe like turning it into an Americano, but at this point, do I really want to do that? I don't know. I don't think so. No, I'm not gonna do that. I've had this coffee already a bunch of times as filter coffee. So this is the first time I do espresso with it, and I want to have the espresso. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish this, and in a few seconds we'll get back together again on the next clip to do the next grinding 18 grams, and we're gonna do a cortado, but with the other coffee. This I'm just gonna enjoy as a straight up shot. So, all right, I'll see you guys in a second. All right, I'm having the last of it. Wow, I gotta say, this was a great shot. Again, and the acidity is a bit high for me. That's why maybe I'm getting these kind of like citrus notes because of the high acidity. I wonder, if I would have pulled the shot the way I wanted it, if it would have, and usually that's what happens, but it doesn't always, but almost always. What happens is that you'll cut some of that acidity and you'll get more sweetness. Usually is what happens. I wonder how much of the sweetness I would have being able to get out of this coffee by pulling a longer shot, you know that. But still, there's no way I was gonna like not drink this one. This is really good. Now that it's had a chance to cool, yeah, definitely very fruity. But in this case, as espresso, I would have maybe guessed at a, definitely I would have guessed at a citrus note. Because of the high acidity, I would have said something like, maybe like the Red River grapefruit that I've had, that I've told you guys about before. Is the grapefruit that are red inside, they are much sweeter than the white ones or yellowish kind of ones. And yeah, maybe I would have guessed as to maybe something like that. And definitely some other, like maybe some tropical fruit notes. I'm not getting, you know, in the background, again, the same, like if you would have dropped a little star of anise in there and you had some kind of a chamomile going on, you know, because that is definitely still in the background. As pour over is more evident though. I still have it here, but as pour over, it's because as pour over it just becomes a lot sweeter and it's not so intense and you're not getting a bunch of the acidity. So yeah, that's the difference. You know, if you guys still have, see on that last taste, I got a bunch again of the chamomile, the little anise, man. All right, sad to see you go, buddy. That was great. As espresso, this coffee is pretty wonderful too, very different. Wow, if you guys have an opportunity to grab some of that, man, go for it. If not, keep an eye out for something like this. Yeah, pretty wonderful. All right, let's dose out another 18 grams of the Cup of Joy. I'm almost out of this coffee, unfortunately. But we're gonna dose out another 18 grams and pull another shot of espresso and try to put a cappuccino together. I'm sorry, try to put a cortado together. You know, I have to say the last couple of videos have been pretty fun for me. Last time, unfortunately, with the whole pour over and I wasn't able to do what I wanted to do, but that is real life. That's what happens. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, watch the last video. Okay, I went over by 1, maybe 2 beans. Tap back in. Okay, again, we're in between 18 and 18.1. So we're gonna grind it right there. This coffee was grind size 16 and a half. You know, as a general rule of thumb, the lighter the coffee, the finer you're gonna have to grind the coffee in order to get the same equal timing, okay? If I explained that correctly. But usually the lighter roasted coffees, you're gonna have to grind them finer. And as a matter of fact, you're probably gonna wanna extend your brew time regardless, because on a dark roast, you definitely don't wanna be doing one of those layer shots. You wanna get like a 25-second, 30-second shot and be done, you know, no pre-infusions, none of that stuff. This only works on the lighter coffees. This one, although it's a medium, and from the look of it, it's a true medium, but from the taste of it, I would say it's a medium light because of the high acidity. This coffee also has a good amount of acidity. You know, somebody commented just recently also that they don't like acidity. So, you know, man, to each their own. Again, if you don't like acidity, then always look for coffees like darker roasted coffees. You know, you like a more traditional kind of flavors. You like that caramel, dark chocolate, burnt sugar. I love that. For, you know, for milk-based drinks, that's my go-to. That's my preference. I haven't had a dark roast coffee here on the channel for like quite a while. So maybe soon I'll order something dark for all of you dark roast fans out there. You know, this is the one coffee channel or the one YouTube channel that you could be a part of, okay? You watching, you could be a part of this. If you leave me enough comments and interaction, eventually I'll pick on something that I decide to talk about on one of the videos, or maybe even make a full video as to answering some of your questions and things like that. I've done it already a bunch of times. It's my favorite part of making these videos, is getting to know you guys and the interaction that we have below in the comments. That's the whole point why I do this. There's no other reason. I do it to get to know you guys, and that's why I always call it our little coffee club, right? Because I want you guys to feel included, and that's what it's all about, building a little community and some friends here that we can share experiences and information back and forth, and it's just fun. If you're into the coffee hobby, it's fun. It's fun to do it. So, all right, so I have the grinder already set at 16 and a half. We have 18 grams. Let's see what we get out. Unbelievably so, I did it again. So why do I do that? Like, maybe because this one's closer, like it's just easier. Yeah, maybe so. Maybe it's because this one's easier. It's right in front of me. This one's a little bit off to the side. Wow, that's crazy. I did it again. Let me show you guys the roast level of this one again. Yeah, man, the last couple of videos it's been kind of fun. All right, so here we are. You see it there, 16 and a half. Look at the roast level. You see, it does look definitely like a true medium, but on the flavor, it's, I would say, medium to light on the flavor because of the acidity. All right, let's see. Okay, these didn't fight so much like the last one. Give it a couple little taps. Again, I tapped the spout. My friend from the beginning, he told me, yeah, you should tap the spout because you always get a little bit of coffee out, and it's sure enough, it does always. You tap the spout, you get a little bit more coffee out. So if not, you'll have some retention maybe. Okay, so again, this time we're missing the 0.3 or 0.2, 0.3. All right, so Elaine, your little shot cups, they made it onto the video. You know, when she gave me these, she said, oh, you know, I saw these, they were so cool. I said, let me get them, maybe I can make it onto the show. Here you go, you made it. But we'll brew into them next time. Yeah, because right now I'm gonna make a cortado, so I gotta use that. But wow, the first shot I wanted to pull into one of these, and I forgot, so. All right, so let's do a little bellows, and let me tap the scale, make sure it doesn't time out on me. Here we go again with the little Gemini bellows. Man, I always say it, you know, but if they would have thought of this idea, like when Niche first came out with this grinder, and then everybody started using like that little plunger, oh my God, they would have sold 1 million of these things. Like seriously. All right, let's see. Okay, that's close enough. Now we're 0.1. If I give it a few more taps, maybe I'll get my last 0.1, but we're gonna roll with that. Put the scale off to the side. All right, so we start with the declumping. Man, what a unique flavor coffee. Like with the whole anise and chamomile and the whole herbal tea infusion. Like, man, I've never had anything like that. That's pretty crazy. After all the coffees I've had, you would think, okay, all the flavor profiles, you kind of already tasted everything, man. But, but no, there's always something new. Okay guys, as it often happens, I just missed a clip. I stopped the camera because I still hadn't rinsed out and emptied out the puck and all that stuff. So by the time I set up for the next puck prep, I forgot to hit play on the thing. I missed, putting the coffee in here and the dosing funnel and the WDT. But there you see that this is after the WDT has already been done. Okay, so you see it there, nice and fluffy. Okay, all right, but we missed all of that because, again, when I went to flip it over, that I went to get my portafilter out, I saw that I had not emptied out the puck and gotten it ready, so I did that, and then and then I forgot to hit again play to get the next, or record to get the next clip. Okay, but no big deal. You've seen me do WDT here on the channel 1 million times, so all I got to do is tamp. Now, one important thing that I did, let me lock in before, so people are gonna get triggered. Let me finish this process. Okay, I'm gonna tamp with Passato again. It worked the first time. Do you know that that was the best tamp I've ever gotten with the Passato tamper. the very last one. That is my my best effort ever with the pasado tamper. Let's see this one. This one was not as good as the last one, but still better. Maybe I'm improving. Maybe the way I'm holding it, like, we'll see. I think I'm improving. Again, that's why you gotta keep practicing. So self-leveling, spring-loaded tamper, yes, I know. Eventually I'll get one. Okay, let's put the puck screen, let me lock in. Okay, so before I pull that shot, I was doing the WDT and I was talking to you guys, and there's one thing that I did say that I want to repeat because that is the only thing that that definitely I want you guys to hear. So there's a new friend of the channel here. I think his name is Nicky, and Nicky P, I think is his YouTube thing, but I'm gonna put it here. I'll put his information here. But Nicky's a cool dude. He does videos as well. Every time I run into a new channel that, any channel, any YouTube channel that reaches out and they're a fan of my videos, I always mention them. We can all get to know each other and follow the different channels. Different people do different things. It's not, Nicky P's thing, he does roasting. So if you guys want to see some coffee roasting, something that you can get started very inexpensively and just get started roasting and practicing and developing flavors and all that stuff, check him out. So really cool dude. He's been a friend here of the channel for a little bit, and I'm a friend of his channel. And again, roasting is not something I think I could get into. It's just, I don't know. I don't know if that's for me. If I had enough time, maybe if I was retired and I had like a lot of time, and maybe get a little roaster and practice and an area outside. Okay, so I'm not bringing some kind of roasting. Although he does it looks like it's in an apartment just like me, and he makes it happen. So I'm sure I could as well, but I don't know if that's a cop-out. I'm sorry, Nicky, I don't think I could do it. But anyway, check him out, guys. Cool dude, coffee fan just like us. He does roasting, so if you want to have some fun with roasting. I know Wojtek roasts, but he doesn't make videos. So Wojtek, maybe you should make videos. But yeah, Nicky P's roasting, so check him out. All right, let's set up all the cameras and stuff, and we'll pull our second shot. All right, we should have all the cameras running here. Let's, again, we're gonna go with the timer. Unless the shot is running really slow, you're not gonna have any glitches with the timer. It works perfect. But as long as you get into like some of those Slayer shots that I like, where it's barely dripping for a few seconds, sometimes 10, 15 seconds, that you just get a few drops in the cup, they're enough to start the scale. But usually it just stops counting the time. It just stops. So if you're getting a really slow shot like that, which most of you guys probably don't do, then this timer works perfectly okay, and it costs a third of what the Akaya costs. I've said it before, I even like the way this one looks better. Okay, so once the A is flashing again, then you're ready to go. Again, I love using this automatic espresso mode. That way I could just concentrate on my flow control and stopping the machine, and I don't have to think about my scale. I know that the machine has a timer, that's my overall time. But the difference between, I like getting that extra little bit of information as to how long it took from first drip, okay? So, all right, here we go. Most of you guys, if you've been watching all the videos, then you've seen that. And I see that the cup is blocking a little bit more this time. Sorry about that, guys. That's the one benefit of the Akaya. Okay, so we level off there at around 2.5. If I get 3 grams, I'm gonna go up. So here we go. 3 grams is already too much for pre-infusion, so then you just wanna ramp up. So I was able to do around 20 seconds, I guess. Now we go to 9 bars. Again, I'm looking for 45 grams out, a 1 to 2.5. 18 in, 45 out. Wow, you're not seeing a lot from the bottom of the portafilter, but okay, I went a little bit over. 45.9, 39 seconds since first drip, 49 seconds overall. So we had 10 seconds without any drips, and then it started dripping, maybe another 10 seconds, and I ramped up to 9 bars. Let me show you guys the shot because, wow, this coffee looks, the shot itself looks better just because it's a little bit darker roast. It always ends up looking nicer. Let me stop one of the cameras. Okay, let me get the scale out of the way. Oh, this time I do see some, yeah, this time we probably had a little bit of channeling. Let me see if I see any signs of it. Yeah, definitely. I think this time we had a little bit of channeling. If I'm able to see it on the video, because I know the cup was blocking some of the portafilter, I might not be able to spot it. But if I can spot it, I'll let you guys know when it happened, and I'll put it here. This is odd. Usually we don't get any channeling at all. But, you know, every now and then you get a little bit. There's not like a mess anywhere that is obvious, but I do see a little bit on the scale. So it probably went like almost like straight down, whatever little bit of channeling happened. It didn't go like all over. So thank goodness. It might have been minor, I don't know. Let me show you guys the shot. It looks very pretty. Actually, I put it here and you guys could see pretty well there. Okay, that's the shot. Now I'm gonna stir it. I'm gonna taste it and then have a little bit of this, and we're gonna put together a cortado. Steam some milk. I wanna keep practicing my latte art. Yeah, when you taste the spoon after stirring this one, totally different. Totally. The other coffee is so unique, like it's so crazy. Okay, let me try it. Ooh, that's wonderful. Man, that's good too. That is real good too, but not so unique, okay? This tastes like the Congo Kivu, okay? It tastes, you get that berryness, that tartness up front, then you get some sweetness, more like caramel, dark chocolate flavors, something a lot more traditional with that upfront tartness and acidity up front, okay? So that's what you get from this one. Same like the Congo Kivu, which is really for having like straight shots, or for having straight shots is probably my favorite thing to have in espresso. For mixing with milk, I don't even need any acidity, or I'm like that other gentleman. For milk, I don't really need any acidity. I'm just good with like a darker roast, just getting that, you know, traditional, you know, like molasses, burnt sugar, caramel, dark chocolate. I don't need the tartness and the brightness up front. I enjoy that for straight shots. Like this, if I was gonna drink this like this, that'd be perfect. But for milk, I don't really need it. Very different than the other coffee, than the DAG coffee. This is something that like I've tasted a bunch of coffees that are similar to this. The other one, no, that's very unique. Okay, now, one thing I do want to mention as well is that when it comes to pour over, then definitely acidity to me is almost mandatory. I mean, not every now and then I can have a cup of, you know, regular filter coffee with no acidity, just sweetness and stuff, and I'm okay with it. You know, I'm okay. But most often than not, I'm gonna want some upfront acidity. It's just, for me, it's just wonderful in filter coffee. All right, so let's steam some milk, and then, you know, today I'm gonna wrap things up right from here, because I've been recording already for quite a while. All my last few videos have all been like an hour, or maybe even longer than an hour, so oh my goodness. You know, most people's YouTube videos, coffee videos, are like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, you know, that's it. I think it's just like Jay, Hoon, and myself that like talking so much. Yeah, you know, I guess it's our niche in the whole espresso game. All right, let me go ahead and steam some milk and put this cortado together. All right, let me show you guys. Latte art, a little bit lacking today. I think I did better last time, I don't know. I had a bit too much foam today. Again, I'm still trying to learn that heart within a heart. You can see I kind of, yeah, the idea is there again, but it's very well defined on this side. If I would have gone this side to look exactly like that side, then I would have been very happy with this, except for, you know, the little bit of milk, but I wanted to fill it up. That's the thing. And then I still had a lot of foam. I had too much foam this time. You know, the last couple of times I've had just the right amount of foam. This time I had a bit too much. But there you see it. I'm not totally upset with it. Let's taste it. Let's see what it's like. Let me lock the focus, make sure it doesn't start hunting. Okay, let's give it a taste. Again, the little brightness up front in the drink because of the, you know, the acidity in the coffee. For me, it's just different. I would not call that better or worse. It is different. There's some people that are gonna prefer this instead of just the dark chocolate and, you know, more traditional kind of espresso. It's just up to you. You can easily tell the difference. I think I like just a traditional dark chocolate caramel kind of flavor better than this. This little bit of brightness in front of the drink is not mandatory for me, but it is nice. And it's nice, it's different. I would not be totally upset with this at all. Okay, if I got this at a coffee shop, I would be really happy with it. There you guys see the beautiful Cortado glass. You know, I've been enjoying these cups more than I think anything else I've ever gotten. Of course, now I have the ones my sister gave me. Those are gonna be now my favorites, but let me try it again. Yeah, it's wonderful. It tastes great. You know, thank you for watching, guys. I'm gonna wrap things up right here. You know, today we only had to pull 2 shots and they were both spectacular. So I think I could have gone, you know, a little bit better as to the first shot. I think I would have been able, if I could have extended the shot time a little bit longer, maybe another 10, 15 seconds. That's more than a little bit, that's quite a bit longer. I think I would have liked it even more, but I'm not at all upset with what I got. It was a delicious shot of espresso. And yeah, thank you guys for watching and for hanging out with me. Again, leave me a comment below. That's the whole reason why I do this, for the engagement below in the comments. You know, it's the whole reason for me making these videos, is to get to know you guys and make new friends here on YouTube, people that are into the same hobby that I'm into. So I've told you guys before that in my, you know, personal world, okay, like in my not YouTube world, I don't have anybody that's a coffee hobbyist like we are. They you know, I know plenty of people that love coffee, they enjoy it, but you know, they just want to get a coffee and that's it. They don't want to they don't want to talk about it, talk about grind size and roasting level and none of that stuff. So that's you guys, my little coffee family here on YouTube. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you guys a whole bunch. Please give the video a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and I'll see you guys next Sunday.